Greetings everyone, T2, and I thought I would update you guys on what my Halloween plans have been, how they've been going. I made a video a while back saying what I planned on doing. And, yeah, like had Carrie Mora on the list. I read that. I think I did a book review on that. Don't Breathe 2, watched that movie. Eli, I watched that. Don't Breathe 2 was actually pretty good. Eli was the one about a kid that's got some kind of, he's like a bubble boy. He has to live in a bubble, and they put him in this special house, and it turns out the house is like haunted or something. And it's pretty good. Resident Evil, Raccoon City, and all that. I just had enough to watch those. And then I had the Nightmares and Dreamscapes. I read that. I think I did a review on that. I had like a couple stories left, and there was one story near the end that was really good. It was really interesting because it's like, it would have been the last story, except you like this baseball story that was like not even fiction, I don't think. So technically it'd be the last fictional story in the book, called Omni's Last Case. And I did a video about the Stephen King multiverse and how it's all connected. And this is like a story about a guy. He's like a private detective, and then everybody in his life starts changing and disappearing, and he realizes that the guy, he's a character in a novel, and the writer is writing him out of the story, and he's putting himself in his place, and he's taking his place because the writer is dying of some kind of terminal illness or something, right? And he's wanting to put himself into this fictional universe, which is like Stephen King started writing crime dramas like near the end of his career, which is kind of like making you think that's what Stephen King was doing. Like he's creating real worlds that are fictional universes, like in the Dark Tower, how Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz, King Arthur, they all like exist. It's really weird when you think about it. And then the guy that was a character becomes the real guy, and he's the one that's terminally ill. He starts like writing the other guy out, so it's like a back and forth thing, which is like the whole Dark Tower cycle. The gunslinger gets to the tower and he resets, and it just keeps going over and over again. Kind of like the universe, if it's cyclical like that, constantly imploding and exploding. Yeah, pretty trippy. So then I watched Scream 2022, pretty much like your basic Scream movie, like a reboot. Had all these rules that they had to follow, and it pretty much turned out like every other Scream movie. And then I just watched Paranormal Activity Next of Kin. I was going to watch Paranormal Activity 4. I got like halfway through it and I realized I'd already seen it because that's the one about the Xbox Kinect. And it had that kid in it. Good thing I watched it because the kid next door, this creepy kid, he actually appeared in the Next of Kin when they go to this Amish place. He's like a little kid. He's like a blacksmith. I need to blow my nose. I had a strep throat and then it went away. Now I got a runny nose. But anyway, Next of Kin is pretty spooky. There's this whole church. They don't want you going in. There's got a big hole in the ground with this cable that goes down to hell or something. There's like demons down there. And this girl was trying to find, her mom used to be Amish, and it turns out they've been watching her. Like the Amish people have the internet hidden in a secret room, and they've been stalking her for like a year. They got to use her to like bind a demon or some shit. And then it turns out they're not even Amish. They're like fake Amish. They're just doing some kind of demon worship. And then at the end, they all start killing each other because they had these drawings on the bottom of the church, like saying it's how you sacrifice or something. Like they all start stabbing each other. And one guy's spinning around on fire. This one guy gets possessed by the demon Asmodeus, and he starts making cops shoot themselves in the head. It's like pretty dope. I still haven't read Nosferatu by Joe Hill. I'll probably do that last week of Halloween. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, I did that. Check that off the list. Saw 5. I watched that one. It was pretty good. So now I can watch Spiral from the Book of Saw. Maybe I'll do that tonight or something. Lights Out. I watched that movie. That was really good. That was about a woman who had had a friend when she was a kid, and the kid was like really had like a skin disorder where she's sensitive to light, and somehow that she got too much sun, and it warped her into an alternate reality where she can only appear when there's shadows, and then she can like teleport around shadows. And she's super evil now, wants to kill everyone in the dark. It was pretty dope though. Evil Dead 2013, haven't seen that yet. I'd like to get that. And the Hellraisers. The TV show Evil has not come back on yet. That would be nice. And the Halloween Ends is still coming out. And then I gotta watch Insidious Final Key. And then I kind of got burnt out on reading horror because of all those Stephen King stories. I did read Shirley Jackson's Haunting of Hill House. Is that right? Yeah. And I watched some of the TV shows, and the TV shows are they don't really follow the book, but it's like the same characters' names and stuff. But I didn't really like Shirley Jackson. I read The Lottery too, like just the story about the lottery, and it's just like her writing style is kind of. I mean, I like Robert Hyland, and he's like a guy that's from like the 40s and 50s and stuff, but like Shirley Jackson's just like a female, and she's from like a really long time ago, and she kind of talks the way I don't really like. It doesn't really jive with me. I don't know. I just like her way. She kept saying this one sentence like "journeys end in lovers' meetings" the whole time she's writing. This one girl keeps saying that, and it's like the house is kind of it's built weird. So you think you go in and you think all the walls are at right angles. They're not. They're like slightly downhill and they're slightly like crooked. So that you think you're looking west, you're looking north. So you think you're looking the back of where you came, and you're actually looking like 90 degrees to your left. So the house is made to like disorient you or something, and it's supposed to have all these ghosts in it. I don't know if I had the full story or maybe it was just like an abridged version, but didn't really. There was a doctor, and then there was a guy that was gonna like own the house later down the road and inherit it, and there's like these two girls that are kind of like psychic or have some kind of ghost sensing abilities, and they were all supposed to stay there. And there's a weird, creepy woman that's a caretaker of the house. So the woman in the TV show, it's not that creepy. But I mean, I guess there was a doctor in it. Yes, I read that. Didn't read any of the other stories by Shirley Jackson. I maybe read a couple. And then I got so tired of the horror, I started reading Brandon Sanderson's Words of Radiance. Just like 1,080 pages, and I'm already like 800 something pages in, so I'll probably finish that in 2-3 days. Probably go straight into the Oathbringer after that, and then read Nosferatu. But then I found out about this guy Mike Flanagan. He's the guy that wrote the Midnight Mass, or produced it, or directed it, or something. And he's like real popular right now. And there's this whole like Flaniverse. If you look on Netflix, just Mike Flanagan, search for him, you'll see all these movies that he did. He's the one that did that new show Midnight Club, so I thought I'd watch that. Didn't really like it. A lot of people were saying it was his first miss. It's like, have you ever seen the movie Fault in Our Stars? I think it's kind of like that. I've never seen it, but it's supposed to be like a bunch of cancer kids that are living in a home for terminal ill kids, and they just tell each other scary stories to pass the time or something. I didn't really get into it. Maybe there's actual hauntings going on there too. I don't know. But there's another movie he did called Ouija that I watched. That was pretty good. Although I can't remember much about it. I did remember it was good though. And I think that may be all that I've seen so far. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, it's just 11 days into October. I did most of this in the end of September, so that's why I kind of got burnt out too early. So now it's like October, and I'm sick. I don't really want to watch any more horror, but I guess I still will. And I said I was going to quit buying books, and I kind of bought another one of these bookshelves and some more books at the thrift store today, but we'll do those in another video. So that's it for now. Hopefully I'll get over this. I've been playing Diablo 2 Resurrected again. They've got a new patch for that. Everybody wants to join me on there. Me and Jayleen will probably be playing. I'll see you guys later.